Basement, level vibes with another one, straight up, blackness aye. Who tell the truth? Mark Benskop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benskop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benskop, straight up from the root. Mark Benskop, who tell the truth? Mark Benskop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benskop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benskop, straight up from the root. Mark Benskop, I do it for the love, him not do it for no money. Straight up, him attack, educating everybody. Big up my friends and big up my family. Turn on the radio, catch the vibes, it's integrity. Straight up, Benskop stands for unity. One people, one nation, one destiny. Free up the truth in the air, even the blind can see. The deaf can hear, the dumb can talk, the cripple can walk. Boom. Who tell the truth? Mark Benskop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benskop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benskop, straight up from the root. Mark Benskop, who tell the truth? Mark Benskop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benskop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benskop, straight up from the root. Mark Benskop, we have to gather wrong, grab a seat and sit down, pay attention. Education, liberation, we have to stand strong. Benskop upon the radio, lively up the program. Everybody call somebody and let them turn and tune and pon the radio and catch the boom song. We boom it up already, we have to boom it up again. Expose and reveal him. Who tell the truth? Mark Benskop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benskop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benskop, straight up from the root. Mark Benskop, who tell the truth? Mark Benskop, defend the ghetto youth.
Yeah, my name is Jasmine Caldata Francis Vietnam, and since 1965 I become a voter, and I always place my ex next to the cop. And what they are doing today, I can't take it. So I have no more vote to give to PPP anymore. I'm not going to vote anymore no more. If they have to lose by one vote, they're losing it by data.
Oh, Jesus Christ, if cost of living double, I don't know what happened. A pound of sugar is $300 already. Flour, everything gone up. Everything just raising. You gotta get about $40,000 for buy good ration. You gotta get 3 man now. A weekend man, a monthly man, and a fortnight man.
Hey fans, it's karaoke and oldies night this and every Thursday at Club Twilight Sideline Dam, Buxton. Dance to the magical songs of yesteryear by popular DJs and Camps Audio. Admission is free. Come out, let's make memories at Club Twilight Sideline Dam, Buxton North.
Because we're excited to see you here. We're coming. Hold on. You got the roti? You got to be kidding me. You got the roti, don't worry. Oh, Lord. You used to make roti when he was 5. But let me see if he can clap. You got shake now. You got shake. Shake now. Shake it in. This is clap. All right.
This is the modern way.
Okay. Sweetheart, this is it. All right. Let's see how you shake it. Farmer Steve roti, the best roti in Brooklyn. Hey, not so. This is the way.
I am shake roti like that.
All right, this is the way. Shake it like that. Shake it. Watch. Shake it. Wow.
That's how it's way. Push.
So you gotta eat the. You gotta eat them cause you. Let me see how if the quality improve.
We're just sick and tired of that. Indeed, that's not the way to run a country. It's not the way to run a restaurant. And I'm told that people are passing right past that restaurant or bakery or whatever you call it, and then the other restaurant down on Church Avenue as well. Let me say kudos to all of you. Good night again. And hey, guess what? Word coming in that the boycott is being effective. It is working. It is going to spread into other areas. I keep repeating, it is going to intensify. There's no question about that. Good night to all of you, especially you folks out in Brooklyn, you beautiful people who understand exactly how to sack it to the oppressors and the enablers of the oppressors. All right, sorry that I'm a bit late. You know, I was on Dr. Hines' program with Dr. Vince Adams, two men who have earned their PhDs through credible universities. And so it is good to address individuals who work hard for their degrees as doctors, especially their PhDs. Unlike who, we don't know where they got their PhDs from or whatever. But I don't know how Dr. Hines tolerates some trench crappos there. Trench crappos are not tolerated here at all. I repeat, trench crappos are not tolerated here at all. Simple as that. Good night to all of you. Bilal Muhammad, salam alaikum. Jamal Aziz, salam alaikum. Rochelle Johnson, how you doing, girl? All right, and all of you, every single one of you. You know how we keep it here, right? Clean in the comment section, please. Clean in the comment section. All right, but straightforward, straight up, straight to the point. We're not going to be like those trench crappos. The first thing is beer. Everything for them is sex, sexual. Somebody this, somebody that, all kind of thing. These people, some of these guys are deranged, man. Anyways, good night, Matthew Dennison. Matthew says always, he's from Harlem. He's watching from Harlem. Good night to all of you. What's happening in your neck of the woods? Let's get straight down to business. By the way, great show, Dr. David Hines, and thanks for the invite. I noticed some of the trench crappos of the PPP. And for those of you who are not Guyanese, you might be asking, what exactly is trench crappo, or who is a trench crappo? A trench crappo is basically a no-good. Who you're nothing good to say and be a stupidness. That's all. And there's no further explanation. And then, Ben Sharp and Dr. Hines and Dr. Adams, look how they're behaving on their show. We're speaking the truth. Talk about behavior. Y'all want to talk about behavior? Y'all should be some of those trench crappos, should be ashamed to talk about people's behavior. Y'all want me to show them? I'll show them.
How we gonna do a body man walk right now? You ready? Fuck, so let me go now. Hear me sing now. Body walk, body walk, body walk, everything. Body walk, truck, body walk, body walk, body walk, everything. Body, listen.
And just in case somebody might be asking, some folks who might be watching, they might say, who the heck is that guy? Well, that guy happens to be sitting there as the quote-unquote president of Guyana. Yes, this is Irfan Ali. And those folks from foreign media houses who might be watching, this is Irfan Ali. He sits there as the quote-unquote president of Guyana. Yes, this is Irfan Ali.
How we gonna do a body man walk right now? You ready? Fuck, so let me go now. Hear me sing now. Body walk, body walk, body walk, everything. Body walk, truck, body walk, body walk, body walk, everything. Body, listen. Body jump, body jump, body jump, everything. Body jump, body jump, body jump, body jump, everything. Hear me sing, so big body can't wear it tight pants, big body just.
Shame and a disgrace. And so those puppets of the PPP, they have no moral authority to say who is doing what. And look at charity begins at home. Look at the dance. The song and the dance is appropriate. It's appropriate. We all know why it's appropriate. And then you get this one here, pudding, also known as Jack Dale putting. This is what he has to say.
Dance like this. You saw that. Nothing, if not more to do. 30 seconds of what your finale did is drop dead. I'm telling you. So don't worry about all of these people.
This is what the country has turned to. We have never seen these sort of so-called leaders. Are these things, are they leaders? He's at a function talking about Norton dance. Let me stand up and, y'all want me to stand up and show you what he was showing you, how Norton dance? How many of you guys say yes? It's Friday night, man. Come on. Come on. Don't be shy to say, yes, I can get up and do the dance. Should I get up and do a dance? It's Friday night, guys, before we get started. Should I just get up? Because I'm tempted, you know. I'm tempted because all these guys are talking about is dance and this and wind up and all kind of thing. How many of you guys want me to get up and show y'all my dance now? Because all of them showing y'all that they dance, I got to show y'all my dance. I got to show y'all my dance because they have nothing better to talk about. They don't have a country that they, well, then again, they can't run the country. This is such a shame. Such a shame. Gosh. All they talk but dance and listen to this clown Jack Deere.
Dance like this. You saw that. Nothing, if not more to do. 30 seconds of what your finale did is drop dead.
Well, one thing for sure, Aubrey Norton, the leader of the opposition, wouldn't dance like, and Jack Deere might be on to something finally, that Norton wouldn't be dancing like Ear Finale, because Jack Deere was saying, what, Norton. By the way, Norton does have a thing kind of dance, right? But then again, what does he expect? Aubrey Norton, the leader of the opposition, to dance like this thing, like this Katahar, this Corey. Look how he's dancing. And for those of you who are non-Guyanese who are watching, this guy is Irfan Ali. He sits there as the so-called president of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana. Look how he behaves.
How we gonna do a body man walk right now? You ready? Fuck, so let me go now. Hear me sing now. Body walk, body walk, body walk, everything. Body walk, truck, body walk, body walk, body walk, everything. Body, listen. Body jump, body jump, body jump, everything. Body jump, body jump, body jump, body jump, everything. Hear me sing, so big body jump, wearing tight pants, big body jump.
Sorry about that. What a shame and disgrace. That's what the country, isn't there anything else that Jack Deere and Ear did? All manner of things. Look, sometimes you just wonder. Seriously, we have to wonder. And a lot of you have been asking, you want me to dance? You want me? I don't mind dancing for you guys, but you got to say whether you want me to do a little something tonight. Here I go. Now that you've asked for it, I have no problem. Just imagine that this is me.
I'm in the mood, I'm feeling good. The feeling exciting. So darling, let's do something. I wanna rub my body on your body. Let me rub my body on your body.
So we all might as well just dance and done, right? So just imagine that you watch me dancing there. But at the end of the day, don't we have better things? I'm not saying that nobody can do a little joke, a little wine in a car, a little screw the light bulb, a little... No, nobody's saying that. But gosh, these guys are so preoccupied on these things that sometimes I wonder. And no wonder why Guyana is where it is. No wonder why. Anyways, our operator says that Wayne Caesar is going to be with us. We're going to have a lot of energy tonight. Wayne is coming with a lot of energy. Yes, big energy. So good night. Good night again to all of you. But before we get to Wayne Caesar, who's putting on makeup and all sort of things, look at this. This is where the country is, guys. Take a look. Take a look. Military officers of the Guyana Defense Force. I don't know if it's chicken that this watrash guy, Irfan Ali, is pushing in these soldiers' mouth. So inappropriate. How many of you guys think that this is acceptable? Come on, guys. Look at this. A stand up on a big man pushing thing in the mouth. I mean, I don't mean to say it like that, but duh. Look at this. Just look at this. I have never seen these sort of things, from around the world. Never in my barn life, as we would say in Guyana. Look at this. These are big men in the military. The man, all of them open their mouth. Look at the short one here. Open his mouth. And Irfan Ali pushing something in this man's mouth. These guys have children, I suppose. They have kids. Oh, man. Oh. This is what you're going to do? After running from Brooklyn in a kitchen, if you want to call it a kitchen, from Palm and Steve's bakery, from the kitchen, clap roti, he rushed back to Guyana, take the same dirty hand and pushing things in these soldiers' mouth. Look at how this thing looks. Come on, guys, let's be for real. Look at how this thing looks. Look. Take a look. And look, the Brigadier Omar Khan is standing right there. But he didn't take nothing and push it in Omar Khan's mouth. He didn't do that. Look at the officers, them that he's doing that to. Take a look. Take a look at the ethnicity of the officers he's doing. Look, Shartman. Shartman seemed to be getting all sort of pleasure. Look, whoever Shartman is. And look, I'm not disrespecting these officers. They're there, these military officers, and we've got to salute our men and women in uniforms. You've got to. But this is an embarrassment. This is a disgrace. I don't know how. I don't honestly, I'm out of words. Anyways, Wayne Caesar, good night. What is your take of that pushing things in these guys' mouth by Irfan Ali?
Well, Mark, let me first off start off by saying a pleasant good evening to you and a pleasant good evening to all our freedom fighters out there. TGIF, let's rock and roll. Yes, all right. So, Mark, first thing I see that is wrong here is that the installed president is barehanded. There's not a glove on his hand. A fork could have been used. You know, there is so many diseases out there. And, you know, I don't know how low his fingernails are cut, but even if you have your fingernails well cut and all of that, you can have certain types of fecal matter that is underneath your fingernails and all these different things. And you're going to attempt to put your hand into someone else's mouth. That is lawless, Mark. That is just lawless. And
Nobody, I ain't gonna allow no man. I'll be straight up about that. Irfan Ali, you know, if it's my birthday and my kids want to feed me, and it's acceptable. Or your father, or maybe your brother come around, but a big hardback man like Irfan Ali pushing things in these guys' mouth, and then you find this as acceptable, and they're skinning their teeth about it. But look at Omar Khan. Omar Khan is the guy, the chief of staff of the Guyana Defense Force. He didn't push nothing in Omar Khan's mouth. At least we didn't see any picture of that. But he felt comfortable pushing things in these guys' mouth. These other military officers. He felt quite comfortable doing it. I don't know. Shame and disgrace. Let's move on to some others. Shame and
Mark,
disgrace.
Mark, that's a questionable practice right there. Very, very questionable practice.
Well, it's unacceptable. It's unprofessional. That's for sure. Let's talk about that. Let's identify. Let me see how many of you guys know this woman. How many of you guys know this lady here? Let me see if you all have been paying attention and you guys know who this woman is. Let me see. Going once, going twice. Let me see if you know this lady. Come on, guys. We're going once, we're going twice.
Yes,
okay, I see some of you say
yes.
Miss Vashti. Miss Vashti, indeed.
Yes.
Mr. Caesar, what is your take on Miss Vashti and her position, her bravery?
First of all, Mark, I gotta say I love her, love her, love her. And what I find, everything happens for a reason. If this situation wasn't ongoing in her area, Mark, we probably would have never find her. But it's a good thing. It's a great thing. And I love her position. It shows that she has not missed anything. She has been keeping in touch with what is going on. And she's very familiar with the issues. That's why she was able to come out and let Ejil and let the government from a holistic perspective know her thoughts and know how she feels. She called them a set of bullies. That is correct and on point. Okay? They are oppressors, they are bullies. What they are doing to those people at Peter's Hall, Mark, it is wrong, it's incorrect, it's the wrong approach. Now you're gonna put a bridge that is coming over to Peter's Hall. It is important before you start any construction whatsoever on that bridge that you have both sides cleared. If there are residents in the way of where the bridge is going to come down and the road needs to be, you need to work with those residents. You need to find, excellent contingency. You need to put together an excellent contingency plan for them to move them. And your deal needs to, what you're giving them, the compensation for their houses and their lands, it needs to be attractive. I would have understood that the person next door would have gotten 57 million. Well, if the person next door got 57 million, then Miss Vashti, she should be getting 57 million also.
Absolutely.
Let's do this.
They need to be equal treatment across the board. We're not seeing that at all. For those of you who just joined us, this is Straight Up. I'm Ben Sharp along with Wayne Caesar. It's Friday night and we're talking about a lot of things. We just spoke there about Vashti, Miss Vashti. Congrats again if you're watching. And Vashti, Miss Vashti and some others in the area reminded me that over 10 years ago, I was in that area, Peters Hall, when they had a flood. And a bunch of folks, we took them in front of the office of the president. At that time, Donald Ramatar was the president. And I went back and I saw this post. And this was back in December 8, 2014. Check this out. This is Peters Hall. I don't see Miss Vashti there, but she was part of the protest. She was part of the planning. This was 10 years ago. And they reminded me that I was right there in Peters Hall. And here it is, they're protesting. Now, says here, happening now, this was in 2014, flood victims of Providence and Peters Hall and Nandi Park are protesting in front of office of the president. They want President Ramatar to know that $11 million, and most of the people that were affected were from Peters Hall in that flood. So Ramatar's government offered those people who had a bunch of things damaged, 500 plus residents, offered them $11 million. And do the math on that. $11 million. That is so unacceptable. And so this is just further evidence to show that the PPP regime, they have something against those people, especially at Peters Hall. What is your take on this meager amount offered $11 million for 500 residents?
Well, Mark, when you split, when you break that down, per an individual, it's gonna come out to be immaterial. We know this already. But Mark, it is how the PPPC operates. They never give Guyanese what they're worth. All right. The PPP is all about money. So if they're about money, there's no money to give to anybody else. And they've never been a government that is for the people. So if you have a flood or some other catastrophe that is affecting the Guyanese people, the PPPC would not have any time with that. They're a transactional government. That's the way it is. That's the way it has always been. Transactional, corrupt, installed government.
Absolutely. Wayne Caesar there for you guys. It's 32 minutes after 9 o'clock. My name is Mark Benchop. We've had a pretty busy day. And it's Friday night, so don't you guys expect us to go 1 minute after 10 o'clock. And we just want to get as much in as possible. So let's move on here now. Some other hot stuff in the news before we get to that. Priya Manikchan is, look, these kitchen countertop, these kitchen tables, and they're calling this a success story. Labs in all of the schools before the PPP took office, it was just a thing that was commendable under the People's National Congress government way back in my time as well. So they just got some kitchen counter here. Wayne gave it to their friends, some carpenter friends, to make couple millions of dollars. And this is what is happening. Shame and disgrace. Priya Manikchan, why didn't you guys do this with the 23 years you guys have been in office? Mr. Caesar, your take on these kitchen cabinets in the schools now.
Mark, this is shameful because the school had a fire. Okay, so you're rebuilding now. You should be rebuilding with modern standards in place. This doesn't look modern to me. Yes, it does look like new construction, but it doesn't look modernized the way it should be. I mean, you should have used this school here as a sample for the other schools going forward, what the upgrade is going to look like. But this here, you're calling this an upgrade of a lab in the 21st century. It just doesn't work out here. I know that a lot of money was spent here, Mark, and this is where the corruption and the kickbacks are happening, right here.
Absolutely. It doesn't work out at all. I agree with you 100%. We are going to be working a lot of things out here tonight on 107.1 FM on Straight Up. As I head down to the comment section here, what's going on, guys? Thank you so much for joining us. Sorry, we're getting an echo from Mr. Caesar's side there. We just put him on mute for a quick second. But there's some other things that we wish to discuss you guys, what's happening and the lies. Barrett Jagdeo, who is said to be a criminal because lots and lots of allegations leveled against him. They love to call people criminals and all manner of things, but Jagdeo needs to be looking into the mirror. Who does he think he's fooling? Here it is. He says, no state funds were used for PPP Congress. So when you use the Arthur Chung Conference Center, what is that? Why should the PPP use Arthur Chung Convention Center? Why? Isn't that state funding? Why? So when you have police, hundreds of police guarding you guys, plain clothes and uniform, isn't that state funding? When you're using the state vehicles to drive these so-called ministers and their families and their friends, isn't that state funding? When you use Gaisuko trucks and cars and SUVs and all these things, isn't that state funding? So who the heck is this guy, Bharat Jagdeo? Who is he fooling? What money the PPP got? All the money the PPP got, they stole it from taxpayers. Mr. Caesar, your take on this ridiculous comment by Jagdeo? Yeah, can we hear Mr. Caesar? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, Mark, I find it very difficult listening to this guy because his comments is usually, saturated with ignorance and untruths. Okay? The Arthur Chung Convention Center is where Parliament meets presently. So the PPPC should have known better than to have held their Congress there. That's number one. The Guyana police force is not working for the born and bred Guyanese citizen that they are supposed to be working for. Instead, they are working for the PPPC. Yes, the Guyana police force was out there in their numbers because the PPPC felt, quote unquote, threatened at their Congress. Even some of their blind supporters would have said, hey, we need to have police protection there for you guys. Why so much police protection is needed if you're a good government? If you're a good government, Mark, if you're displaying good governance across Guyana to all its citizens, why so much police protection is needed? This party, the PPPC, is a corrupt criminal syndicate, and they know it. Okay, they know it, and the people who continues, Mark, to support them, they are wrong. The PPPC is wrong for Guyana. All those flags, all the money spent on flags, amongst other things, and we have our pensioners in Guyana, right? Auntie Vashti, Auntie Dato, they are punishing $33,000, $35,000. Can't do anything for these people, Mark. The PPPC is just a boasting party. They fail to take care of the issues that are affecting normal born and bred Guyanese, and people going across stage and dancing and doing all these type of things. Mark, I wouldn't dance unless the entire country is dancing with me. Okay, and the Guyanese people right now would not be dancing with the PPPC because their quality of life, Mark, have dropped tremendously under this installed dictatorship regime.
Absolutely. On that cue, we'll just say 38 minutes after 9 o'clock. And in terms of back to this subject here, Jack Dio, we're told they have spent almost $500 million, taxpayers' monies, $500 million for this year. This ridiculous, this Congress that was rigged, that we see a bunch of mainly men, and all of those who are occupying the top spots are of one ethnic persuasion. They're all East Indian Guyanese, every single one of them. They didn't get space to no Amerindian, no indigenous, no African Guyanese, nothing. Absolutely, just all East Indian Guyanese on top of that hierarchy of the PPPC. But this is Barrett Jack. They oftentimes say that the PPPC is a multiracial party, the only multiracial party in so ridiculous. Where is the evidence? The PPP and Jack, they're a bunch of fraudsters. That is what it is. So when he says that no state funds were used for PPPC Congress, PPPC rigged Congress, of course, we know better. Almost, or a little over $500 million spent on that. And speaking of $500 million, we go, look at what's happening in the country. Guyana has earned $126 billion in oil revenue between January and March of 2024. Come on, guys. As these corrupt bloodheads individuals, Jagdeo and Irfan Ali, where is the money? What are they spending the monies on? They can't tell you. They can't say anything. Does this surprise you, Mr. Caesar, with the $126 billion in oil revenue and nothing for the people, nothing for teachers, nothing for nurses, nothing for the doctors, nothing for public servants, nothing at all? Nothing for precious mineral? Nothing for John C. Paul? Nothing for Jamal Aziz? Caesar?
Well, Mark, unfortunately, this is what the Guyanese people are dealing with right now. A government that does not care for the normal citizen. Like I would have said before, it's a government that is transactional in nature, it's a government that is corrupt. The monies from this oil, and Jagir would have said it very, very, very early, that the people would not be able to benefit from this oil money, at least not at the present moment. And I can't see why. I can't see why. Once you're getting this type of revenue, Mark, from your oil, okay, it should be trickling down to your people. Every Guyanese should have direct deposit, and certain amounts of money should be deposited to them every year as a benefit from the oil revenue.
Look at that 120.
Mark, this is something that this is something that didn't exist before.
Look at this $126 billion. You're telling me Guyana has under 1 million people. Under 1 million. What would it take for any government, whether they're in office by rigging the elections or what, any government to deposit in every household or public servants $100,000 per month for an entire year. Do you know what that would do to the country, the economy, and to families all across Guyana? But no, these corrupts Mickey Mouse, Jack J and Irfan and their minions in the PPP, they prefer to take the money, spend it on themselves, family, and friends. That is what it's about. It's a shame and it's a disgrace. And hey, let's move on for a second. We got just about 15 minutes remaining. Big in the news. Guyanese political, this is CNN. Guyanese political power broker accused of sexual assault, a serious matter, accused of sexual assault by another woman. This is CNN. This is not Guyana News there. This is CNN. CNN, international news by Tara John, who was at the press conference today, and she asked a couple of questions, and this is now in CNN News. I'm not sure if you saw the press conference, Mr. Caesar. Did you? Even if you didn't, what is your take briefly on this new allegations leveled against Dharamlal? Go ahead, sir. A serious matter indeed, but go ahead.
Mr. Benchcop, I am not surprised. Okay, from the first allegation was made, I was of the opinion that there are more girls out there. And even with this most recent allegation here, Mark, there are still more young women out there. Mark, this guy needs to be investigated.
What is your take on this new allegation on this that this woman is saying? Did you watch the press conference? Did you read his rebuttal? Because he has denied.
I didn't watch a press conference. I didn't read his rebuttal, but I do have a few little details on what would have transpired. And based on
the allegations, because they're allegations level, he has denied it. Let's go straight to what those allegations are. And this is the person, Ms. Sarah Hack, that's accusing Dharamlal of rape.
I get up and say I have to pee, and immediately start to get dressed and make assertions that I have to be leaving soon. I had no intention of being in a business meeting with this man after the shock and humiliation I felt at the time. I tell him I'm leaving and proceed to go to the bathroom, where I stay there for as long as I can and wash my hands and everything as good as I could. My mind was racing, and I made a plan to get away from this man regardless of any business meeting. I was violated against my will by a man who exploited my situation and tried to entrap me in a compromising situation, due to my future contract with the ministry. I exited the bathroom, and Dharamlal is not pleased that I want to leave, but I was now fully clothed with my bag and phone ready to go, so he gets stressed. I stopped under the pillow, and he forced me to lay on. And as he did the deed, I scoffed at this because I knew he carried a firearm, but did not know that it was under the pillow. I didn't wait for him to lead me out, but started to walk downstairs and outside. I'm escorted to the front door where he stays and remarks that he wants me to lend him my car next time he comes to Espillo. I'm appalled at this man and start my car to exit the premises. The security hut at the Guyana State House had 2 guards who saw me come and go, and they did not respond to me when I greeted them. At this point, I wondered, did they know that Dharamlal just had sex with me? Did they suspect? I go home and arrive there minutes before 11. I had no intention of letting my family know, and I showered as soon as I entered the house, trying not to draw any suspicion, but my family members were asleep. I was in shock and denial that Dharamlal, my future employer, raped me. To my further disgust, he sends a WhatsApp message. Shower after? And I replied angrily and rhetorically that I did. He said that he doesn't want to shower and that he won't. I was flabbergasted at how disgusting Dharamlal is. My second physical encounter with him was an ambush very similar to the first time. This incident, however, occurred in 2021 before May, when I was in contact with the Ministry of Local Government about non-payment of my contract, as well as a broken promise of a renewed contract for that year. I worked under the ministry for 2 months, starting in November. This was about a month after the rape, and Durham Law pretended that he did not know me and threatened to fire me on one occasion because I refused to do unethical things regarding a project that I oversaw at the ministry. I was the witness to embezzlement, and I was expected to be a puppet. Via WhatsApp, Durham Law offered to talk about my grievances in public over a business dinner, and I complied since our points of contact since September were professional and very minimal, thankfully. He picked me up from my residence in Oval with his government vehicle at around 1900 hours and makes an excuse to go to his residence, Cummings Lodge, to retrieve something. I have my radar up, but I didn't think much of it. When we arrived at the location, it was gated and guarded, so I had to accompany him into the house. To my dismay, it seemed like something really bad had gone on there, and it was not in a habitable state. He apologizes to the state and says to come with him to some room, which was a bedroom. Now, like deja vu, he starts to proclaim that he wants my pussy and wants his way with me because he didn't get to do it last time. I know that what Durham Law was capable of, and the manipulation started again. And I was in the same position as before. I felt stupid, and I noticed Durham Law was being very aggressive and took my pants off after just asking me to sit on the bed. He wanted me to spread eagle and start to take out his penis. I don't remember seeing a condom or even seeing what his genitals look like. I immediately yelled that I'm not going to be raped.
All right. Words there from Ms. Sarah Hack is alleging that she was raped by Durham Lal. She's alleging that she was raped by Durham Lal. A press conference was held earlier today, and media houses were there. We have noticed the members, so-called members of the media houses representing the installed government. They were bent on maligning this woman, this young woman, and pretending as though she has some sort of mental health issue. The young woman did admit that she was diagnosed of being bipolar at the age of 19. And those of you who understand, the medical persons who might be watching this here, because I have friends who are bipolar, not the type of ridiculous performances by Bara Jagdeo and Irfan Ali. They are a different sort of sickness. They have different sort of mental sickness. But I have friends who are doctors who are bipolar, and they are very, very competent. So the direction the PBPC is going to try to attempt to malign this young lady, all because of her allegations, instead of investigating it, they start a personal attack against this woman. Now, Durham Lal issued a statement, and the statement that was issued by Durham Lal, he is saying here, from the outset, he wishes to categorically and most vehemently deny each and every one of the allegations made by the said Miss Hack. And so he's saying that he definitely, he'd like to deny all of these allegations. He went on and he says here that he has known Miss Hack personally for several years, and he has always maintained a most civil and cordial relationship with her, including socializing on many occasions. So he's not denying that he doesn't know this woman, this young woman. He knows her. He's admitted that he has socialized on many occasions with her. And he is saying here, and you guys listen to this carefully, that her demeanor towards me changed fundamentally after I rebuffed her advances and spurned her attempts to engage in an intimate relationship. So, hey, wait a minute. She wanted to be engaged in an intimate relationship, according to Durham Lal, and he said, no, move away. I can't do that. That can't happen. Hallelujah, Dharamlal. It can't happen. That's what Dharamlal is saying here. That is what he is saying here. He knows her, they socialized, but she wanted more. In the beginning of her press conference, she admitted, Miss Hack admitted that she is not, that's according to Miss Hack, that she is not into men, that she is a member of the LGBTQ community and she don't like men. So I don't know, Dharamlal is saying here, I don't know who's his attorney this time around, I don't know. At least his attorney or her attorneys haven't shown themselves as yet. You know what I mean? So he's saying here that Miss Hack embarked on a campaign to malign and tarnish his reputation. Again, let me repeat the part he says, and I quote, "Her demeanor towards me changed fundamentally after I rebuffed her advances and spurned her attempts to engage in an intimate relationship." So Dharamlal is saying this young lady wanted to have an intimate relationship with him, and he said, no, me no want nothing with you. Me no want no relationship with you, girl. None whatsoever. Mr. Caesar, your take, please.
I think that they're going to try to attack this woman.
They have already started.
Yes, by saying that she's bipolar and she doesn't know what she's talking about. But I don't think being bipolar, Mark, is going to have anything to do with her cognition. Okay? She's an alert person. She understands, and she has businesses and she holds a decent position and is a smart person. I think this young woman would have went to QC also. So she's smart.
Outside of that, what is your take on what Dharamlal is in his defending himself here?
Mark,
what is your take?
Mark, what can be my take with Nigel Dharamlal? He's the common denominator here. This is not the first time that this would have happened. It is not the first time. So if you put
allegations,
allegations, right. We know it's allegations. Yes, allegations. It's alleged. But it's not the first time that a young woman is alleging rape, is alleging sexual assault on the same common individual, Nigel Dharamlal. So if you ask me who I believe or my thoughts, I believe this young woman.
Let's go straight back to
until proven otherwise, Mr. Benchcop. I have to go with the story of this young woman.
Let's go straight back into the allegations being made by Miss Sarah Hack.
Kickbacks you're going to have. The reason I'm making it so public is because I need to give people strength. I need to give victims the strength to know that they're not alone and that there's no shame in what happened to them. They need to reclaim their narrative and stay true to themselves and stay true to the truth, because your dignity comes and goes. Money, their opinions, a lot of them haven't. The reason why I'm making this so public, why do you feel so compelled to?
Well, I just
it's
all right. So the reason why I went back to this here, Mr. Caesar and others, is this is the reporter from CNN, Tara, and this is what the reporter asked.
Thank you so much for your brave testimony.
What is the
So did you sorry, go ahead.
Okay, members of the media, we will entertain one more question.
No, I just
it's Tara from CNN. Thank you so much for your brave testimony. This is, public testimony of rape cases like this are incredibly rare. I don't think I've ever seen something like this before. So I'd really like to know, I have two questions. Why do you feel so compelled to do it now? And my second question is, how do you feel seeing your alleged rapist Well, I think he is now on sort of, sorry, I don't know the terminology, but he's on the ruling party's committee. I think he was recently elected. So I'd like to hear your response.
Sorry, your first question was why I wanted to do this now, right?
Yeah.
The reason why I'm making this so public, Tara, is because I know personally there are scores of victims, and these victims are not adults, they're children. They are not allowed to, their parents, God knows what else, they're not allowed to voice their opinions. A lot of them have been silenced. A lot of them have had abortions. A lot of them have been physically abused, in addition to being sexually abused. People are scared of retaliation. They're scared of whatever kind of judicial kickbacks you're going to have. The reason I'm making it so public is because I need to give people strength. I need to give victims the strength to know that they're not alone and that there's no shame in what happened to them. They need to reclaim their narrative and stay true to themselves and stay true to the truth, because your dignity comes and goes, money comes and goes, but the truth always remains the same. And it's just so sad that we have women here in power who have made these women shells of themselves, these girls. It's just like they just have no empathy for for victims, much less like women. I need people to know I'm making this public. I'm making this is compromising towards me. This is stuff I don't even want necessarily to be out there, but I'm putting it out there to let victims know they're not alone and that you could do this and be okay. There are ways to go about this, and I feel like we haven't had this yet. No victim was willing to actually put their name out there. People have aliases. They're trying to hide identities. I'm going foot to the pedal. I don't care. I was wronged. I know what happened to me. No one's going to tell me nothing happened. No one's going to tell me that wasn't a crime. And I need all the victims to know that. I need people to come together. The hundreds of people I know that have made it against this man need to come forward. And the second question, the fact that he is still on that party is mind-boggling to me. Not just to me, to everybody else. It's something that I cannot make sense of. It is like the only reaction to insanity is an insane reaction. And it just makes me wonder, like, is there a conspiracy here? Is there something else going on? Are they protecting Nigel because he's hiding secrets for them? What is going on? I've always been somebody who's very bold, someone who is not, I'm a very sex positive person. And I don't think that you need, just because you've been sexually abused or you've had maybe abortions. I know people have had abortions because of this man. Your life is not over. There's always going to be light at the end of the tunnel once you stay true to yourself. And this country needs to have accountability on so many levels that we've never had before. And this man, Nigel, was being accused of rape for years now by adults, I think even by law enforcement, I believe. And he was getting pardoned. No one believed him. People were saying, oh, I've heard from so many people, Nigel is such a good man. I never saw that. The man raped me. And every single person's testimony that I saw, it was the same thing. It was as though this man had a pattern that he would go with the Glock, with everything else. Ugh. It really, 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 really triggered me. And I'm doing this not just for myself. I'm doing this for the greater good. I'm doing this to change the country. The culture in this country needs to change. People need to start standing up and realize that people in power are stripping us of our rights to the point of gaslighting, to the point of victim shaming. And I'm putting my face out here because I don't want anything to be ambiguous. I need everything to be straight from me, from the source. That answers your question.
Before you go, a lot of people have asked you why no. You ever thought of taking this information to the opposition?
You know, that's a ridiculous question from one of those idiots from the PPP mouthpiece, not trained, not qualified, uneducated. And so that particular question was a ridiculous question. Yeah, and the question was, you ever thought of taking it to the opposition? Um, she took it to Irfan Ali. He apparently didn't do anything about it. Priya Manikchan apparently knew about it. So don't come with a ridiculous question. You ever thought of taking it to the opposite? Get out of here with that dotish question. Again, you heard this young lady, Mr. Caesar.
Yes, Mark. And again, she she's no dunce. She's a very intelligent young woman. You can just hear from the way she speaks. Okay. And what she would have said, is that yes, she did reported it many times and she was ignored, Mark. Why? Because it is her belief, and the same thing here. I believe the same thing, that Nigel Darmlal have a lot of secrets for his colleagues. He is a part of the inner circle, and no one from the inner circle can be convicted of anything. So now, with these new allegations, I want to see where this goes, how the police handles this, or if there's going to be another underhand payout or whatever it is that would have happened the last time, if this just goes silent again. And I would encourage, if there's other young women out there, who would have been allegedly, if they haven't came out yet, allegedly sexually harassed by Nigel Darmlal, to bring their stories to the table now. Bring all the stories to the table now. Let's deal with it. Let it all be investigated one time. And Mark, on a broader note, it is out there that a lot of young indigenous girls would have allegedly experienced the same fate as this young woman, among many other young women. These things needs to be investigated. And these things mainly happens, Mark, when the PPPC is in power. This is not fair. You're taking away young people's dignity. What good are they after that? What good are they?
Well, we need to get some professionals to pronounce on these matters indeed, in terms of the mindset of women like these, under these circumstances. So we can't necessarily say what good are they, because it is unfortunate that these things do happen to women folk, and they try to build themselves back up. They try to give themselves the courage. They try to give themselves the self-esteem because of how society look at them. And so we've got to expect, at least in the healing process, that something good will come out in terms of their mindset and so forth. And so we can't say nothing good will.
Well, Mark, let me
be very cautious, though.
Let me just clarify what I just said.
Please.
When I say what good are they? They are forced to deal with this on their own, to hold in what would have happened to them, to sleep night in and night out, probably having nightmares of what would have happened to them, instead of being able to come out, right, and get the necessary needed help to put them back on track.
And she did say that she reported this matter to Irfan Ali, who sits there as the president of the country. And he did absolutely, we haven't seen anything that they have done to, for this woman, based on her allegations, that she gets some sort of justice. And my question to Irfan Ali, if he's watching, did you condone whatever the allegations are? And have you made efforts to cover these things up? Keeping in mind that it was Mr. Paul Slow who said that he received a phone call from Irfan Ali in an attempt to allegedly cover up the situation at the Guyana Police Service Commission when Mr. Paul Slow was the chairman. So Irfan Ali has a history of attempting to cover things up. And since Ms. Hack has admitted at this press conference that Irfan Ali was aware of this, my question this evening is to Mr. Irfan Ali, or Irfan Ali, what have you done about this allegation when it was first brought to your attention? And we're told that Miss Priya Manikchan also, that's what we're told, knew about these allegations. And the question is, what has she done? And so for anyone to jump up pretending that they're a reporter or a journalist to ask a silly question, have you gone to the opposition? No, victims do not have to go to the opposition. They have to go to the police. And the police oftentimes depends on who is involved. They tend to cover things up or they're afraid to investigate. Again, this young woman claims that she went to Irfan Ali about this matter. Irfan Ali needs to come out and say to the public, what has he done? As simple as that. What has he done? Mr. Caesar, we'll go back to skip that ridiculous question from that Don Stug. And let us hear something else for another minute before we wrap up. Maybe you touched on it briefly. But how do you feel with the party that is in office right now protecting this individual? And we have seen cases where they have protected another individual accused of molestation of little boys, allegations that is, that's being protected. And in light of what the Minister of Education said about rape victims, how do you feel when you see these statements or read these statements, and to see the manner in which senior members of the government are out in public protecting individuals within the party, whether it's Nigel Dharamlal or whomever, whether it's a Kwame, allegations leveled against them of sexual misconduct?
Angry, nothing but rage, nothing but absolute rage. And I lost a lot of faith in the women, especially. The men, I was very surprised at the fact that people just took themselves out of the situation. It made me think that there is something else going on here that we don't know about. Why would you be protecting rapists? Why? What is the end game there? It didn't make any sense to me. I met with Dr. Irfan Ali. When I met with him, Nigel Dharamlal was walking out of the State House. I don't know if that was an ambush, but I always thought it was. I always thought they wanted me and him to be in one room so they could de-escalate that situation. Thankfully, we were never in the same room, but it makes me, it reminds me of that Jeffrey Epstein thing. That is what this is the vibe the party is giving me. I have no respect for these people. I don't think they're fit to lead in any capacity. They have no respect for themselves. They are doing the dirtiest of the dirt to people here, to women especially, and to little boys, to children. It's atrocious. It's something that these people need to go to prison. This is something that you need to put people in prison for. And it's something that is ingrained in the culture here. It's something cultural, and I can't make sense out of it. I mean, I've been the victim of it, and what they're doing it's so crazy. That look at where I'm at right now. Like, even Tara said this has never happened before. It's like, what else am I supposed to do? They have gone above and beyond to make this thing seem like it never happened. The gaslighting is insane, incredibly insane. So the only reaction to that craziness is for me to come and be in their faces telling them, no, I know what happened. And you know what happened to me. And yet you're doing this. They're trying to intimidate. They don't know that they cannot intimidate me. They don't know that, because I've been shamed, I've been scorned, and I need vindication, not just for me, but for victims, for these children. And my heart breaks for them. I have nieces. I just have a heart. I'm sorry, but that's just how it is. The Minister of Education, she met with me when I was in high school. Like, good grief. She's the one who's literally saying things like, oh, that is rape, that isn't rape. Children should always be protected. and yet she was there with Rama. Like, yet these women are there. Like, what? Like, what? Like, it's something I cannot make sense of. I'm literally rambling, but it's crazy. And this is the start of something that I don't know what it is, but I just hope we can do better. I really just hope we can do better. This is crazy. Oof.
The frustration in her face tells it all, that she has no confidence in the system. She has no confidence in the government. She has no confidence in Irfan Ali. She has no confidence in the Minister of Education, Priya Manik Chand. She has no confidence in the police. I don't know. There is no future for Guyana. There's no future. There's no justice for victims. None whatsoever, as long as the perpetrators or alleged perpetrators are connected to the PPP regime. Always a cover-up. And to those, I don't want to really describe them publicly, but for those numbskulls, those dumb thugs, dunce thugs, who are blaming the victim, shaming the victim, I say shame on them. Some of them are women out there who are victim shaming this young woman. Shame on those heartless, cruel witches out there. Mr. Caesar, I know you have your show tomorrow. Please, your closing remarks, sir.
Yes. Mark, to all our listeners and viewers, let's remember that this same installed President Irfan Ali would have said that he has the best interests of women and children. Well, it's his actions when it comes to Ms. Hack and what she would have alleged in conversation with him that she was raped paints a different picture and contradicts what he would have said. Irfan Ali and Priya Manik Chand, they are both enablers and they are both complicit in what would have happened to this young woman. And she is right. It is not, and I got to give her a lot of credit, she's not being selfish. She's being very unselfish here. She's thinking about the other victims. She's thinking about those who have not yet come forward. I agree with you, Mark. The system have failed this young woman like it has done to many others. This installed government have failed this young woman. And when reporters talk about going to the police is not an option, because 90+% of the time going to the police is like going to the installed PPPC regime. Okay, the police have not shown the level of independence that one can be competent in going to the police and getting a proper result in a matter as such. So, Mark, going forward, something needs to be done from probably an external perspective, that these matters needs to be investigated externally by an external agency and not by the Guyana police force.
All right.
Because
well,
I can foresee the results, being consistent with what we were accustomed seeing.
Thank you so much, Mr.
Nothing being done.
Yeah, the results will be quite consistent with what we have been accustomed to hearing and seeing, where victims do not get the justice they so deserve, because the perpetrators or alleged perpetrators are oftentimes connected to some bigwigs, or they are bigwigs within the People's Progressive Party. Mr. Caesar, thank you so much for your time. Tomorrow night, 7 o'clock, right here on 107.1 FM. Wayne Caesar will be on with his Over to You. Thank you so much, Mr. Caesar. Looking forward to your show tomorrow night. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mark, for having me. And to all the listeners and viewers, I look forward to seeing you tomorrow at 7.
Thank you so much, guys. And thank you to Mr. Wayne Caesar there indeed. We need some professionals in terms of psychiatrists and so forth who understand these issues and would be able to pronounce in that respect on these matters. I'm not sure what sort of help this young lady is getting behind the scene, but let us do hope that she is getting the help. Oftentimes people rush to victim shame, and they have some women who are also doing that. They've got to put themselves in a position that if they one day they accuse someone of doing the same to them, would they like someone to victim shame them? Or would they like for the matter to be investigated, properly investigated, without any sort of bias? And the matter is to the point where they get justice. You cannot, it is unacceptable for anyone to victim shame this woman. To say, well, why you go? Why you pull your pants down? Or why you this? Or why you that? You know, and some of these people who are victim shaming are supposed to be mothers. They are supposed to be sisters. It is shameful to read and to listen to some of these heartless women out there who are basically attempting, because of their allegiance to the PPP regime, or because they're getting some crumbs from the PPP regime, and therefore they want to find a way to victim shaming this young lady. They're not going to say, let justice take its course or let the system work. They're not saying that. Right off the bat, they're saying, oh, she is wrong. That's what they're saying. And it's a shame, those heartless, some of them are some dunce thugs with access to social media and a little camera to go on. It's a bunch of ridiculous things. They are dunce thugs. They probably don't even have half the level of education this young woman has. They're not even eloquent. It's evident that they're not eloquent as this young lady. And some of them call themselves a social media influencer, and they can't even speak properly. Y'all know who the witches are. Y'all know who they are, the dunce thugs. Look, this young lady has leveled an allegation against Dharam Lal. Dharam Lal has rebutted. Dharam Lal said, no, it is not true. He has denied. So it is not for us to say that he is guilty or to say that she, this young lady, is speaking the truth. We got to be able to weigh the two. And deep down inside, we might already know what is happening here, because we have heard these things, these allegations before, similar in nature, identical. But Dharam Lal is saying, no. He not do that she was after him. And he said, no. He no want she. She is saying that she's not into men. She loves women. And so her allegations against Dharam Lal in a statement to the police should be handled properly investigated. Are they phone messages between the two, phone conversations between the two? These are things that have to be presented to the police. The police now has to, since a report was made, the police has to now bring Dharam Lal in for questioning. And not just to hold him for 2 minutes and let him go. He has to be questioned. This is a serious allegation that's leveled against him. His report to the police is not one that, oh, it is not true, and then the matter is finished with. No, the matter is not finished with. This is just the beginning. And the police need to be independent in executing their job. And if this matter gets to the DPP again, if it gets to the DPP again, and the DPP has to recuse herself from making any decision as to whether charges should be laid against Nigel Dharamlal or not, then the DPP should remove herself from this matter. Also, Irfan Ali, who is quick to jump on his Facebook page and issue statements, thus far he has been quiet on this matter. The young lady, Ms. Hack, has said that she met with Irfan Ali pertaining to this matter. We don't know what was discussed, but we're quite certain that what Ms. Hack did was to mention the allegations to Irfan Ali. I am concerned that these allegations were supposedly discussed with Irfan Ali, and we all should be concerned that Irfan Ali, allegedly, he did nothing with the allegations that were leveled against Dharamlal by this young lady. He didn't take it to the police. He sat on it, and we can assume that he did absolutely nothing with it. It is a shame. It is a disgrace. Of course, it's an embarrassment. And under any circumstances, that is right. That would give way for justice for this woman. And Irfan Ali has denied her justice. In any other part of the real world where democracy exists, Irfan Ali would have had to call a press conference with immediate effect, outlining what he knew or what he was told by this young lady. And after that, what did he do? What did he do? And if Priya Manikchan was also briefed about this matter, the question is, what did she do? If Jack Deere was briefed on this matter, because he seemed to like to give this impression that he's briefed on everything, if he was aware of this situation, this allegation, what did he do? If the WPO, which is the women's arm of the PPP, the head, knew about this allegation, what did she do? I am concerned about that. What did they do? Don't tell me that, oh, she should have gone to the opposition. That's not the function of the opposition. Yes, if people go to the opposition, I am sure they will do the right thing. But she has done the right thing from the beginning. She went to Irfan Ali. She took it to the police now. The question is, what has the police done with this allegation against Dharamlal? What has the police done? Did they arrest Dharamlal in order to question him so that they can hear Dharamlal's side of the story, hear her side of the story, and based on where the evidence seemed to be leaning toward, to either charge or send the file to the DPP, and we can almost assume what the DPP will do. This is Ms. Hack. The DPP is also Hack. What will the DPP Hack do with this young lady's allegations, this Ms. Hack's allegation? We cannot sit and allow these things to be shoved under the rug without any thorough investigation. And while the investigation is going to take place, we hope, Dharamlal, the PPP needs to issue a statement with immediate effect to remove Nigel Dharamlal as a member of the Central Executive of the People's Progressive Party, pending the outcome of this investigation. This is a serious investigation. This is a serious allegation, that needs to be taken seriously by the PPP regime. We've got to pray for this young lady, and maybe scores of other young ladies. It's Mother's Day weekend. And shame on those mothers who are victim shaming this woman, this young lady. Shame on them. Nigel has denied every aspect of this allegation. Everything he has denied. And he has turned it on this young lady to say that she pursued him and he rebuffed her. Wayne Caesar is on tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. If you haven't read this CNN report, go straight to CNN and read the report. Po Guyana. God bless you. Have a great weekend. And to all you mothers out there, in advance, happy Mother's Day. Except the witches who are victim shaming this woman, this young woman. All the good mothers out there, because you cannot be victim shaming this young woman and be a good mother. You cannot be a good mother when you have taken the side of the alleged perpetrator without a proper investigation and victim shaming this woman. You cannot be a good woman and laughing. You cannot be a good mother and laughing at this little girl, because that's what she is. And I don't mean it in any derogatory term as little girl. She could be our daughter. She could be our sister. She could be our friend. She could be a relative. More so, she's a daughter of the soil, our beautiful country. And it's time that our women folk be protected from sexual predators. Our little boys ought to be protected from sexual predators. They have to be protected. This government doesn't protect them. The police force, obviously, with political orders, do not protect victims. They protect the perpetrators as long as the perpetrators have contacts and have money and so forth. It has been happening far too long. I'm out of here. You guys have heard both sides of the story. You heard this young lady's side, and you heard the denial of Nigel Dharamlal, who has claimed that it is not true and that this young lady pursued him. And he said, no. He doesn't want anything. That's what he said. So we have given you both sides. We've given you this young lady's side, and we've given you Nigel Dharamlal's side. If Nigel Dharamlal calls a press conference, we will carry it as well, so that you guys out there can hear for yourselves what is happening. But we've got to pray for this young lady. She's brave to come forward. I'm out of here, guys. God bless you. And all you beautiful mothers out there, caring mothers to your children, or even folks you call your children, happy Mother's Day for all of you. All of you. Happy Mother's Day to all of you. God bless you.
Yeah, my name is Jacinti Caldata Francis Vietnam, and since 1965 I become a voter, and I always place my ex next to the cop, and what they are doing today, I can't take it. So I have no more vote to give to PPP anymore. I'm not going to vote anymore no more. If they have to lose by one vote, they're losing it by data.
Because because we excited to see you here. We're coming. Hold on. You got the roti? You got to be kidding me. You got the roti, don't worry. See, you used to make roti when he was 5. But let me see if he could clap. You got shake now. You got shake.
Take responsibility. We want you to look out for us. We do not want no segregation. No. We are one people. And if we're going to do it, let's do it together. Because we have respect for you. Thank you.
All right, President. All right, I would have it no other way. No other way. There is only one way forward, and that is united. That is.